Welcome back to Inside Eastern Utah. We're here with Christine Watkins today. We were talking about the legislative process and how a bill comes to be written after it's filed and before the break. And now we have a couple of bills that we want to talk about that you are sponsoring this legislative session. So we did talk about the volunteer firefighter one a little bit. We talked about the one for the BEAR program, business expansion and retention in Carbon and Emery counties. And you've got a couple more. So tell us what those are. And
well, the first one is actually a resolution. We can write resolutions, and it's just acknowledging or honoring someone, some group, this resolution is to honor Utah's coal miners. And I'm just, you know, our lives are changing here and in our economy, and we know it's painful, but I've lived here all of my adult life, and I've gone through the good times and the tragedies and everything, and I just thought, you know what, it's time to honor our coal miners. And so I'm gathering information. I have a local person helping me, and then I'm going to give that information to the drafting attorney, and we will write a resolution that I want to pass in the House, the Senate, and have the governor sign also, and to honor our coal miners.
I think the constituents in District 69 are certainly going to appreciate that one. I mean,
agree.
It's such a rich part of our history here.
You know, the coal miners that are probably not with us anymore endured a lot of trials and hard work and dangerous situations, and even though things are certainly much safer now, there's still that element of danger there. And a lot of coal miners, they love their job, and they take pride in it, and because of them, we can turn a light switch on, and we can videotape ourselves, and our electric bills are not sky high. You know, we're one of the lowest utility prices in the United States because of our coal, and I'm proud of them, and I wanted to honor them. So that's what I'm going to do.
Well, that sounds like great work for sure. We're definitely going to look forward to that one. And that's not it, though. You're definitely going to be busy this year. What else are you working on?
Another one that I have filed, and it's actually done, is it's called Payments for State Care of Children. And I don't know if everyone knows, but if the state steps in and takes your children for whatever reason, and there are a lot of reasons, obviously, drugs or neglect, abuse, or you're just poor, or somebody's mad at you and they file a thing, and that does happen.
Unfortunately, yes.
It does, yeah. I'm amazed at how many ex-spouses will call and make a report when it's not true, but sometimes you do have the children taken from your house, whether it's one child or whatever you've got at home, and if DCFS takes your children, they charge you.
I had no idea.
I think many people probably don't.
Yeah, and so they do it on a kind of a sliding scale depending on how much money you make, but they also have, they reach a point where if you are below, your income's below a certain amount, then what they do is they just charge you $30.
I was going to say, as a sliding income scale, a lot of these kids that are being taken, their parents have no income, zero. So,
or very little.
So even then, they're going to be charged $30. Okay.
Yep. $30 a month per child.
And that's a month. That's not just a one-time fee.
That's a month. And of course, they're saying that that helps pay for foster parents, et cetera, et cetera. But my personal belief is that if we're in the business of taking children, then we should be prepared as a state to take care of them.
I will say, and this is my personal opinion, I think there are definitely times where children need to be removed from the home. There are always going to be those situations.
Absolutely. It's too sad, but yes.
But I think there are times when a child is taken, and it is devastating. It is devastating to so many people, especially to the child or the children. You know, things at home might not be great, but should we pull that child from everything it's ever known and put it into a situation where everything is just chaos? Now, we don't know these people that we're with. We don't know. Now, you know, our mom and dad have to go to court. We have to do all this thing, and the kids don't understand it. It's, for them, it's just pure chaos. And so I think this is a great bill. So, right, if we're gonna take these kids, we better be prepared to pay for them. And maybe if this bill passes, we'll think a little bit harder about taking the kids.
Yeah, we put it through DCFS, the directors in Salt Lake, and they were like, well, we already have a waiver program, and we have people on that we waive the $30. But the thing this bill will do is it just cuts that out. If you're below a certain level, period, you're not going to pay that $30. And you have to put yourself there, and I've been there. It was a long time ago when we finished college. Of course, I didn't have to have kids taken away, but I didn't have $10 extra to my name.
Right.
And so for someone who's trying to pay their rent, their utilities, and pay for gas, they may not even have a car, pay for someone to take them to all the meetings, $30 sounds like a huge money.
Especially if they're trying to get back on their feet so that they can make their situation better, hopefully to have their children back in their lives.
Well, and you know, we've passed a bill dealing with children that become behavior issues as teenagers. And so we're saying, well, instead of throwing them into detention all the time, let's get into that family and help that family. Well, why can't we do that here? You know, sometimes we have one spouse that's on drugs and one that's not. Well, let's get in there and help support them. And, you know, I know personally, because I've attended a number of family meetings, that they'll be told to attend classes and be gone doing this and doing that, and it takes money.
I was just gonna say, I have, my youngest is adopted through foster care, and my sister is her birth mom, and just the visitation, to get my sister to come to visitation when we were still in that process before we were able to adopt, she sometimes didn't have gas money to get to the visit, and so we were able to kind of arrange things, but I really feel like that arrangement was because of me, because she was my sister, and I was saying, okay, we ended up giving her a car because she didn't have transportation, so that now she had transportation. Well, then it became, I don't have gas money. And I understand that, and I know that I'm not making excuses for these parents. There were a lot of things that my sister could have done different during that time, and maybe made it to a visit a little bit easier had she made different choices. So I know it's all about the choices they make too, but let's not be a detriment to
let's not
them
put
getting their
another little
back.
brick wall in front of them. And yeah, we even passed a bill my last year that they had to hurry and go back and amend to change that when they had a UA, a urine analysis, that they had to pay $5.
Oh, really?
And that's sounds pretty simple, but it was like, oh my gosh, they didn't have $5. And that, you know, I started thinking about it, and I thought, you know what, they probably don't.
Right.
And so thank goodness, and I was not there the next year, but they did change that. And I care so much for children and their families, and my goal is let's get them back together. But sometimes, darn it, that the situation, whatever their drug of choice is, it just takes them over.
Yes,
so then we do have family that steps in. We do have other people who want to love their children, and that happens. But in the meantime, let's not put up a little brick wall, just another little one, because when you're impaired through whether it's alcohol or drugs or whatever, your processing ability is just a wee bit skewampus. And so we need to help them do this. And I've been working with some groups locally, and I do believe I've seen these people get rid of the habit, and it takes a while. But when they find themselves, when a lot of them, when they find the Lord and they give themselves to Him, they totally change, and they want their lives back and their families, and let's help them. Let's, you know, that's what we're here for, as families.
Yeah.
So let's work on.
Let's reunify these families.
Yes, and let's not
put up more
penalizing
barriers.
them all the way.
So you've obviously had some busy times since you've
Yes.
been into office. Now I'm sure you're going to just be gearing up for the next legislative session, which, when is that going to be starting for you?
It starts January, I don't remember, it's the 22nd or 23rd, because I have to check into the hotel the day before. So that may be the 22nd.
And that sounds like a long time away, but it's really not. I mean, there's
no.
probably a lot to prepare for and a lot to get going. And thankfully, you have been very vocal about what happens during the legislative sessions. Last year, or earlier this year, you provided a lot of updates so that constituents could be kept up to date. And I think those communication lines have been very open between you and constituents. So if people have concerns or questions, how can they get in touch with you and reach out?
Okay, number one is email, and you can find it on the website. I can say it here, but you'll probably forget, but it's just Christine Watkins at LE, which stands for legislature, .utah.gov. But you can go on to that site and it'll be right there. We are in the phone book. We don't always answer the phone because sometimes we're gone.
But they'll call you back.
Yeah, but leave a message and I'll call you back. But then there's my cell, and it's 650-1969. Just remember District 69. And that just was coincident. That was not planned.
Perfect.
You're like, I need to change my number to have 69 in it.
My phone number has been my phone number for years. And it's just funny that I represent District 69, but it's just 650-1969. If I don't answer, I'm in a meeting. We're in our pre-session ramping up, and I'm going all over, but I call people back and I talk to them, I respond to emails. And if you want me to attend something, don't ask me the day before, because I am really getting booked. And I do, even though next week I will be babysitting my grandkids. I have one that lives with me, but others up north, I'm going to take advantage while they're in school to go to talk to some people that I need to in the Salt Lake area, since I'm so close to it.
Be there. Yeah.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much for taking some time.
Well,
It
thank
really
you.
was very informative to hear about how those bills come about. And
Anytime, except during the session.
anytime, but not really. Well, we certainly appreciate it, and we look forward to what you're going to be doing for District 69 here in the future. So, thank you for tuning in. This was a special episode with Christine Watkins of District 69. And she is doing great things for our area. If you have questions or concerns, be sure to reach out to her. She is always willing to listen and hear those concerns. So thank you for joining another episode of Inside Eastern Utah. Stay tuned for more of your favorite programming on ATV Channel 10.